Can you share with us a couple of moments when you had to pivot, especially the pivots that were turning points?
All right. Yo,
Check.
these pivots. But so the thing with pivots though, kuna stage ya kwanza with pivots. Stage ya kwanza ya pivots kwanza. Pivots zikianza kupiga yani kwanza. Kwanza inabidi uanze kujiuliza. Kwanza you're like, because you know when you're starting, you're like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Then you're like, what? You're like, really? Like, no. Kuna ugumu fulani hivi ya kukubali kwamba hapa ni muda wa kwanza kufanya pivot. So honestly, the last 5 years, yes, much more so within the last 2 years, we've had to do a whole lot of pivots. And I think because of those pivots, possibly that's why we are starting to get traction. That's why there's tangible things that I can say. You know, the team is starting to grow and everything, but it was really, really hard to get me to this point. And I think it was because of the whole idea of the founder mentality, and this is how it should actually be run, and this is how I imagined it in my head.
Yeah.
Yes. So to talk to you about the pivoting moments, I think one of the key things, 2022 was really starting to look at what is the sustainable business model. Because we came at this from a passion angle, right? We're digitizing the whole, because I started servicing graduate training projects. So digitizing that whole process to make it easier for employers to get talent through their doors. But I'd not really thought, okay, so then I'm only receiving money from this guy who's paying me to do this project, right? But then the thing with the project, which was our first initial business model, right? When you get a project, it's awesome. But it took us like 6 months to close, like a minimum of 6 months for you to actually close that one deal.
Yeah.
It is not realistic. That's a long time for you to be running your OPEX, costs, right?
And usually you'd find yourself over-investing in the sale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of sit downs and engagements and, oh my God, this product is great. And then possibly when you go to procurement, they really don't understand what you're talking about because it's HR and it's like, and at the end of the day, you're like waiting, oh, this deal is coming and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And this deal is coming and nothing happens. So I was like, okay, girl, you have to rethink this whole business model. And of course, during, as I say, 2022, so that means post-COVID started really hammering how you actually being sustainable.
Yeah.
So then we literally started thinking through, okay, there's free stuff for the entry-level talent to get on the platform. That's well and good. But let's also see if we can start, curating different courses and things like if you want to download the CV without our logo, you can actually pay 1,000 shillings for it because we've actually made it nice and pretty for you. Or if you want an online coaching for 15 minutes on self-awareness or how to interview or how to make a CV that is curated to the job description that you're applying to or a cover letter, you can only pay 2,500 shillings for 15 minutes or...
So products for job seekers.
Exactly.
Nice.
So we're like, let's start designing that. And I'll tell you how that went. So that was one of our pivots. And then on the employers now, as I told you, we're like doing this whole long sales cycle, which was not sustainable. It was not going anywhere. Really started to, and I hated this because I was like, I'm not a recruitment company. I want to upskill these guys and go. I'm like, okay, girl, just gotta go, put your tail in your ass and just go back. You're just going to go back and figure out and do this recruitment because you have to keep the lights on. So had to come back to really, okay, we're going to be doing recruitment as we're upskilling these guys and creating this automation tool.
Yes.
So then the placement, so, a company comes, we're looking for 2-3 people. We come back to our database, we give them the people. Then right now, the biggest pivot that we have been working on this year and running up to going live next year is our applicant tracking system, which is a curated tool for corporate companies to do their hiring themselves. So we give them access to a white label tool. So the same way like you would be using as a Calendly or Google, but you're just a service to actually do, it will have your logo. It will not even, nobody will know it's on our service, but you're actually able to do screening, filtering, collect all your applications at the ease of using the Niajiri tool. And as of recent, really looking at designing a tool for the SMEs, which is more curated, Swahili, and all of these other things.
Yeah.
So actually this week, one of my employees was laughing at me. She was like, Lilian, you're actually creating an app. It's like, I was 1 year ago, you're like, no, I'm not an app person. We're a web-based, mobile responsive platform, right? Because my thing has always been, why do you build an app if you're not having as much interaction on a daily?
Yeah.
So we have 33,000 unique registrations. But on a daily, it may range between 350 to 1,500 to some of the days like 5,000 people on a daily. So I'm like, until I have a constant like 50,000 on the platform on a daily, that's when I'm doing I'm doing an application. But yeah, so it's not happening, but we're getting there. But so like there's some things that you're just like, okay, maybe we need an app, but for this particular subset, that we can be able to push this into the market with a different strategy. Because also insanity or craziness is doing the same thing that you've been doing every year and expecting a different result. So I'm really just putting myself out there and trying out all of these different strategies and business models, because the traditional business model has just not been working.
Right.